Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Roll20 Presents The Hot Circle. It's Burning Wheel time. Welcome back, everybody. We had a slightly shorter than usual episode last week where we did the trait vote because my computer was being a huge jerk, but it's better now. And so it's time to burn that wheel. It actually worked out okay because I think it was nice to have a little bit of distance after we did the trait vote, have a little bit of space.
A little bit of space, yeah.
Yeah.
I needed some time for my saltiness to subside.
Yeah, I think
I had to
generally,
dilute my saltiness.
generally of the voted traits, I'm the one who came out the best in terms of.
Excuse you, I am messianic. That is,
But that
but
doesn't give you
it
anything.
doesn't give you anything. Yeah,
yeah, it does. It gives me so much fun and happiness.
it's true. There's a lot of potential there.
Now listen, we all know that fun is a byproduct of game design and not something that you actually get from the mechanics. However, you're going to be rolling in Artha.
Byproduct.
Fucking rolling in that Artha. So
Well, it's okay. I'm jealous of all y'all's fucking traits.
So think about it this way. For the next time we do the trait vote, it's like a duel of wits. Go for a thing that's way more than what you want, which will make what you actually want seem more reasonable. Like, I think I should have gifted. Why? I don't know. Because I'm just so magical.
Want Gifted. That would be great.
No.
Just start
we
fucking
do not.
texting
Look
people.
how great it's
Alessandra can start getting corruption. Woo!
Yeah, totally.
Make a deal with a demon. It would be good.
I mean, you can do that now, right? You
Yeah,
can do
you can totally-
untrained summoning tests are totally a thing.
You could totally call upon a demon and be like, "Yo, help me out."
Help me out.
It's great for Brother Miro.
I mean, it would require her knowing that that's a thing that she can do.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Well, it's a good thing you're such good friends with the Magus. I'm sure he would introduce you to the dark arts. So we moved forward. We moved forward some time. We gave everybody an opportunity to fill in some stuff, get up some new beliefs, and do some practice time. Some of you have 1/12 of a test for some things, which is good.
That's good.
Spent time in prayer and doing magic, but I will give you. I'm giving you. This is the proverbial 5-minute warning on the resource test. So maintaining your lifestyle is forthcoming, right? We're into the nearing the end of the season, and we decided to do seasonal tests. So probably sometime in the next few sessions, I'll call for a resource test to maintain your lifestyle, which is great because the king is going to have to make one to maintain the kingdom. I promise you, it's not going to go well for him. Yeah, the king is going to probably fail that test. So those tests, just for future reference, you can bolster yourself against them. They're going to be resources tests. You can bolster yourself against them by making link tests using existing skills that can get you money. You can create a fund, or you can generate cash dice. All of the rules therein, you can find them in the resources section. So
Okay, well, I will look at that because I have 0 resources.
Right,
and
now-
also my lifestyle is bad.
Now the test is based on the lifestyle you've lived up to this point, like the way your character has been behaving. So when the tax collector comes around and they're like, I see you have a nice house, I see you have many servants, it's going to cost you an OB3 resources test to continue to have these nice things.
So what you're saying
For
is
you-
what I will have to pay is get the fuck out of my way.
So
Right.
yeah, for you it'll be more like you have an OB0 resource test to make, which means there's no test, but you have nothing, and so there's nothing to tax.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
Wait, so my nice house and my servants are going to cost me a OB3 resource test?
3 or 4, something like that. Yes. But you have Reza to help you, right? You have a relationship who's tied into that shit as well. So
And your new friend.
nice
It costs me as much in taxes as it would to get into the queen circle. What is this tax man like doing, or vice versa? Like, why is the queen requiring so much of me?
when
to
the
get-
tax man shows up, if you wanted to murder him and then eat his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti, you could. Here we go.
Wait, actually, you could get away from doing that resource test.
I
by
mean,
just murder?
Right?
You could delay it. Yeah, sure.
just to murder the guy.
Yes, the government expects you to pay tax to the king, and if you don't pay it, they'll send someone to collect it. And if you murder that person and then hide the fact you murdered them, they'll probably eventually send someone else. The point being here, so no home, property, or possessions to speak of is an OB1 test. This is just like being able to eat and like not die of starvation, etc. Working poor, a small family, a rented cottage, a poor knight or adventurer, you and your horse on the road, that's OB2. Maintaining a family in the city, a small business, a cobbler's shop, maintaining oneself as a knight, horse, armor, weapons, and a squire, OB3. A lord's manor, if you are a wealthy peasant or modest merchant, a medium-sized business, or a small blacksmith. So yes, it looks like we have a range of it looks like probably one OB4 test, Agatha, depending on what happens in this next bit, OB3 or 2, and then OB1 for Miro and actually OB2 for Miro and OB1 for Joy.
Where are the rules for this?
It's all on page 372 of Gold.
Wow, okay. Way farther than I thought. And then can I just take all of those merchants that were gonna vie for my hand and ask them for a pouch of gold? If
you get married, then potentially your well-being is on your spouse to take care of, right? You can be like, whatever, man, so yes, you'll either have to make that test or get your ass married and make your new husband make that test for you.
That's a lot.
Form a more egalitarian union and share the burden of making the test so they will help you out.
I mean, yes, that's the correct answer.
Or kill the taxman.
Yes, poison the taxman.
But yeah, don't rely on an NPC to do a good job because we all know that they're going to be incompetent or drug addicted or whatever, right? Like,
or have a B8 sorcery skill.
So the other thing,
yes, marry the Magus, please, for the love of God, marry the Magus.
No!
So keep in mind here that maintaining a opulent royal court or palace is an OB10 lifestyle test. So just the palace, right? So the king also has some shit. The king also has some shit to deal with. So it's gonna be tricky.
Well, and what I imagine with the king is like a networked test where it's like there are subservient people who are responsible for some stuff. The king kind of has to maintain some things. The master of coin will like do a linked test.
She's really the one to make the test. But yeah, what I think will be interesting is that if Elisandra fails this test, it actually negatively impacts the king and the kingdom's ability to make their test as well. Because if Elisandra, as a noble lady, can't pay her bills, then the king can't pay his bills, and
all that debt gets paid forward,
and on it goes.
Yeah. And it would be a lot easier if they'd been able to, have a harvest this year, but there was that unnatural winter.
Can I ask Sylvain to have brought some cash dollars from the homelands?
Your failed circles test? Can you convince your failed circles test to pay for your taxes?
Yes.
You could certainly try. I would love to see that.
I would love to see this, because the best answer is, oh yes, of course I can lend you the money, right? And then you're just in his pocket forever.
So yeah, we'll have a couple of initial things that I want to work out, including
17 resources tests later,
including that test for Elisandra if you want to buy membership in the affiliation. I also need to know how Agatha managed to evade capture for a month. So we can work that out. But let's talk about...
turn into an animal.
Yeah, well, that was the question, right? Like, do you just abandon spending? I feel like spending a month in the form of an animal would probably fuck with your head a little bit.
It's gotta mess you up a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
and how do you practice the things you're practicing if you're an animal?
Well, I mean, it was all rat speech and spellcasting and being a weird witch. So
yeah, this is the thing. I think she didn't stay an animal the whole time, but she was out haunting her villa for a month.
Well, so the thing about haunting your villa is we never really established who knows that it exists, because I feel like if you have a villa, the first place they're going to go looking for you is cool, the king soldiers show up at your house. But you could have also been an animal and hiding when they did that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It was a tenuous time where she was
a game of cat and mouse, if you will.
Yeah, so she would be in the woods for a while and carefully return to the villa and live in the villa and be spooky, right? And it's all about projecting fear, so regular people don't want to go there. And who has time to go out in the fucking winter? I'm sure there was an initial bit where they're yes, get the witch, and then it's okay, but it's supernaturally cold out here, and she's
yeah, the witch has evaded us.
Yeah, we're staying in the castle, thanks.
I will say this, Dave. I saw what you just posted. Dave was just like, "Hey, everybody, guess what? Guess what? Ghosts can help pay for things."
They can.
I know.
They
Can my
summon a
ghost husband make the roll for? That would be
You can summon a treasure goblin
mean-
from the upper, and he's just gonna drop gold everywhere and hit him with a stick.
Perfect.
It has to be a ghost who has like a vested interest in ensuring you're like,
Yeah.
that's the reason you summon them, and you have to summon them successfully, Dave.
Yeah, that's success is the
Something successfully for the first time ever in this game.
It'll be fine.
yeah. Brother Faustus has lots of opportunities to make his way in the world. He'll be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
All right, so let's take a look at beliefs, instincts, and traits, and figure out what everybody's looking like. Elf, would you like to start us off?
Why, certainly. Perhaps I shall. Let me see here. Information. Beliefs. Joy's beliefs are underestimated every turn. I'll show them. I'll get my hands on a proper weapon. Megas Diptera has made an enemy. I'll confront him directly.
Right, and this I think this ties into a trait that you have now.
That's the death. Getting there, okay? Agata believes I am a servant. I will use her magic in return to keep me safe from reprisal. Instinct. When anyone speaks of God, laugh. Always keep a knife where no one can see it, and confront every boast with an ugly truth.
Excellent.
My traits are off kilter, scapegoat, and then the lovely enchanted trait, death wish, that I have until I deal with the Magus problem. I mean, we'll figure it out. Death wish, it's great. I have die traits, broken, numb, dreamer, and lame. I have call on traits, aura of innocence, keen taste, and the lovely new the fool. And my cultural traits are Ashen and Eldritch, as we got rid of Somber during the trait.
That's right. Excellent. Cool. All right, thank you, Joy. Agatha?
Hi. So lots of change on my sheet. So it is my duty to preserve the natural order and to end this cursed winter, but I cannot do it alone. I will return to the covens and find my sisters. And so like get some other witches to help me out. They probably don't like cursed winters either. Winter claims the weak and the foolish. I will make sure I have a decent shelter to last the season. The kingdom withers in winter and creates opportunities for the woods. I will haunt this kingdom and frighten the common folk.
Sweet.
And then I always speak truth to power, never put something back in the wrong place. And when making my way in the woods, always gather roots and herbs with my familiar.
Nice. That sounds good. Oh my god, I will haunt this kingdom. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
getting
good.
Very metal. And sorry, my traits are always in the way, well-traveled, spooky, inscrutable, respectful women, lupine, reclusive, vindictive, misunderstood, fable-headed, blind, gifted, spirit familiar, essence of earth, exhausted, rat speak, forked tongue.
Nice. Fantastic. Yeah, you're gonna be a problem for the kingdom very, very soon. I mean, you already are, but in the abstract. Alessandra.
Sure. My beliefs are I refuse to be a failure. The throne of Carpathia belongs to me. I am tired of having my attention divided. Reza must leave my house. With the queen incapacitated, now is the perfect time to prove my worth. I will ingratiate myself with the queen's circle. That's, gonna happen. Instincts. When I meet someone new, ingratiate myself to them. Yeah, see the thing. Always redirect violence away from my person. Always keep an ear open for gossip at court. My traits are your lordship, ambitious, well-dressed, independent, cosmopolitan, raven-haired, jealous, mark of privilege, and rapier wit.
Excellent. So your first belief is it's like a guiding light belief. Is what it's referred to in the codex, right? It's the idea of like just something that generally pushes your character forward as an overarching goal, rather than like I have a bunch of little specific stuff I want to do. and it helps clarify why the other beliefs and instincts might be there. So, yeah, I can see some fate coming from that one. Excellent. And last but not least, Brother Miro.
It's me, Brother Miro. I've been haunted by a ghost for a month.
Yes.
It was pretty okay. So we got some old beliefs, we got some new beliefs. So I still cannot allow my vision of the future to come to pass. Reza Agata and their heretic companions must be stopped, and I still want to track down the angel to better protect them.
You make that gesture, Andrew, but you're playing right into this belief.
I mean, it's more fun to play into it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm trying to do Dave a solid here and be the spooky witch that he wants.
Be the witch you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
The people see something in me. I will repay their trust by developing a new set of scriptures.
Will repay their trust by lighting them on fire, you mean?
That was just that one guy. He deserved it. The ghost of Lord Gavril is a force of disorder, and as such, I will banish him from the land of the living.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then God is dead. I will bring him back. There are secrets in death, which I will explore.
Nice. I like how your belief and your belief special like directly conflict, right? That like there are secrets in death, but you want to get rid of this ghost. It's nice. There's some
This
good
is a
tension.
naughty ghost. He's a bad boy ghost.
There are good ghosts and bad ghosts.
Only nice ghosts.
I mean, I tried to tell you.
Is that part of your scripture, right? How to tell good ghosties from bad ghosties?
I was
Yeah,
like,
you
why
have to
you want to talk to my husband? That's a horrible idea. And you're like, no, it's great. And I was like, no, it's bad. And look what happened. Look.
Hey,
How
he
to tell
was-
the difference between a Casper and a Slimer.
Yeah.
Slimer is also a friendly ghost, Adam,
Yeah, but I mean,
but like a gross friendly ghost.
yeah, not the kind you want to like have in your house.
And then there's the ghost of Alessandra's husband, who's like in a very different category.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. But you'll have to wait and see about that scripture. I've got some cool ideas.
Nice. I'm excited to read the Book of Miro.
Yeah.
What are your instincts, Miro?
Instincts are the same. Always challenge blasphemy. It's my duty as a priest to impart knowledge to others. Always offering advice or an aphorism. And never ignore a potential sign of the angel's highly machinations.
Okay.
So,
And your traits?
my traits are demented, mad, violent, pious, tough, fur, messianic, believer, faithful, gifted, tonsured, vested, and zealot.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All
So
right. Cool. So man, where should we start?
I've got a plan.
I was thinking maybe we start with Joy. So the castle of Carpathia has been these last weeks trapped under a spell of some considerable difficulty, right? The queen fell under the curse of the betrayer Agatha, who was vanished from the castle. The king first sent soldiers to look for her, and when they could turn up nothing, turned his magus to the task of discovering the wolf among the castle's various lambs. So the magus has been turned to that. No one has forgotten that Agatha betrayed them. Everyone, the name of this traitor witch is on everyone's lips still, but it's now more about, well, this could happen to us. Like, what if she comes back? And the people that live in and spend most of their time in the castle, they're the ones most affected by this, right? Because the sleeping queen is still a clear and obvious thing, and the king himself has fallen into a deep depressive funk He is no longer governing with the skill and acumen he once did, and now spends most of his time either alone in his bedchambers, or on the throne, lost in dark contemplation. We can see, I think, over this time, the effect that losing his wife to this curse has taken on him. He has become a shade of his former self, and if anything, has reverted deeper and deeper into the kind of cultural traits that line him, right? Like he's prone to violent outbursts. He's sullen, and he spends a lot of time in the castle's chapel alone, right? Like the doors shut, guards at the gate, not to be interrupted, hours at a time, in either the chapel or in the tomb and sepulchres below the castle, pacing.
Have I had a chance to speak to him in the last month, or has it been very like, don't come near me?
I think probably not, but we could say that this is, if you want to have a scene with the king, this could very easily be that.
My first thing was going to be a quick foray to the kitchens, actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So in these times of strife, no one, even the kitchen staff, no one goes unscathed. Supplies have begun to dwindle, right? Like even here in the castle, the idea of plenty has become but a fleeting dream, and so we see, the kitchen. And there are as many rats here as there are servants. There's maybe a scullery maid or two looking sullen in the corner. The king's personal chef really has nothing to do anymore, and we see empty boxes, empty barrels. Really, like we're down to scraps in the larder.
So, to give you an idea of what my plan is here, Adam, I am looking for poison.
I was like, cometh the scavenger.
Yes, cometh the scavenger, indeed. As a poisoner, I imagine I would be able to know what is going to do that, and acquire something of that type.
Okay. Generally, one does not keep poisonous materials in the kitchen.
Yes, but things in certain quantities.
Yes, absolutely, exactly. And also, like, people have turned to unorthodox food sources. Maybe someone went out gathering mushrooms from the wrong place.
Exactly.
What about Agatha's tower?
That's also another place to look.
Like
Agatha's abandoned laboratories and what have you.
Guaranteed to be some shit to poison people
So,
there.
Poisons is a specialized apothecary skill that allows you to concoct harmful substances from herbs, minerals, and animalia. Now, if you want to, what you could be doing now is making a scavenging test to get some materials to help you.
And actually, this brings up an excellent point of order that I keep forgetting to do. I have been listed as having the alchemy skill this whole time, but what I really meant to have, and what would actually make sense in terms of everything we've described, is the apothecary skill.
Right? Yeah.
Can I just like change it? I've never rolled alchemy.
Yes. Yeah. That's
yeah.
Was it on your list, or did you buy it with general points?
It's on my list as well. So
okay, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I have an apothecary workshop that is in the castle.
Okay.
So there would be stuff there, and I have the apothecary skill.
Okay,
It makes much more sense.
Then we call this a scavenging roll, and
yeah, I mean, here's the question. So where does Joy go to the kitchen to scavenge materials that could become poison?
I think it would be a quick look around the kitchen and see, but it's one of those things where
almonds and apple seeds.
It's one of those things where like she's more
Nightshade.
likely to get pushed away in the kitchen than in the tower that nobody.
Yes, but also if you get caught here, no one's going to be like, "What are you doing here?" Plus, there's guards and stuff outside Agatha's. Yeah.
And,
okay, you can certainly start here.
Like you said, mushrooms, anything from the Nightshade family. There's like all of these things that prepared the wrong way, right?
And I do have.
Your Highness, I've made you my specialty. It's appleseed fugu nightshade skewers. Here you go.
All right. So, how does one scavenge?
So scavenging is a skill based on perception. the scavenging skill is actually like an incredibly useful skill. You tell me what you're looking for. It can be anything, and I give you an ob, and then that's it. It just can't be a unit. You can't scavenge for specific things. You could not scavenge Excalibur, but you could scavenge a longsword.
Okay. I am looking to find ingested or contact poison.
Okay, now do you want to find something that is already poisonous or material that you can make poison?
I can make poison, so like a substance that I could turn into poison.
So you're not looking for medicines, it's not ob 3. You're looking for common household goods that will give you a bonus to your making the poison roll.
Yes.
You're looking for materials. And actually, I don't think this is a link test because you have to succeed at scavenging to have the thing to make into the poison.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. It's an ob 2 scavenging test.
Okay.
Do you have scavenging?
I do not have scavenging.
So if you fail, someone will take note of your scavenging and like be suspicious of it, right? They will be like, Joy was looking around, and then they'll like make it known that they saw you doing that. This won't be a like you get caught and thrown in the dungeon thing, but one of the kitchen staff notices. So it would normally be ob 2. It's based on perception.
Hang on. I just have to add it to my list here.
Okay.
Scavenging. Back down there. It's a perception test, you said?
It is.
Good. All right, let's do it. What's the up?
It would be if it's unlearned, it's ob 2, and then the sheet will make it ob 4.
Okay. Base ob 2. Bam.
Whoa.
3, but I can't.
No 6s. Okay.
Can I re-roll that traitor somehow?
You cannot. No.
Oh well,
It needs to be open-ended.
Yeah.
For that to be.
So sadly, I failed.
I mean, you're pretty close, but yeah, I think the thing is you spend a lot of this time, digging around, and what it is that it's the place is empty, right? Like the things that might have been used to you in a fully stocked, like maybe you went down there thinking like, oh, I know exactly what I need. I'll need this thing from here and that thing from there, and if I mix these two things, but you get there and it's not totally empty, but abandoned. And I think you hear behind you someone like clear their throat. It's like and you turn and you see one of the kitchen staff. Do you think you would recognize this guy by name, or
is he like someone who is often in the kitchen?
I mean, he's like a low,
I mean,
like a low tier.
I live here, so
yeah. Well, so what I'm wondering, and this kind of speaks to your thing as the fool, like. I almost think of you more as like a noble than a servant. Like you may be like the nobles, and you would recognize the people the king interacts with. But I don't know. Do you think that you would recognize just like random guy that works in the?
Maybe not. Maybe not. I think there are definitely some servants that I know, and people I probably like to pick on when I'm practicing.
I suppose if you really want to get into it. You can say, here's the option. You can be like, no, I don't recognize this guy or have any relationship with him. Or you can roll circles.
Let's roll circles and find out.
Yeah, because this could be someone you know, and maybe they don't turn you in because they're...
Maybe they won't fuck me over.
And this is, exactly what circles can be for. It's like, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
So, so rolling circles for this fellow, what is my
Do you have a circle in common with this dude?
I have born slave, and so I have like slave stuff. I have what is it? The outlaw stuff, outsider stuff, and noble stuff, and noble court stuff. So if he's in the court,
so he's none of those things. He's a servant. However, if you want to increase the ob slightly, he could be also a former slave. Who now works?
Let's do it. I have slavery wise,
or an outcast who was like pardoned. I don't think they would hire an outcast for the kitchen, so I don't think they were. Okay, all right.
Former slave. Let's do it.
So it's ob 1 default, but a former slave who became kitchen staff, I think we'll give him another 2. So we'll say this is going to be.
God damn it!
It's going to be ob 3 for this test. Now you got lots of persona and fate, and here's the thing: if you succeed at this. It means that this guy is like friendly to you, and you're like, look, I'm looking for something special. Maybe you can help me, right? This becomes a nasty individual who's like potentially your buddy.
Persona allows me a die,
gives you extra dice.
Yeah.
And then you can open end it by spending a fate point.
Sure, I will spend a persona, get an extra die.
Okay.
I mean, if he's friendly, he's a co-conspirator, right?
Yeah,
just
well, that's kind of
like
where
that.
I'm. Yeah, exactly. One Artha, base ob 3. Hey!
Nice. All right. Nicely done. Okay, let's name this guy. He is let's see, former slave.
Turns out I can roll successes.
Works in the kitchen.
Also, Elf, I'm flashing back to the last time poison was at play in a role-playing game that we were in.
Yeah, me too.
It was a situation.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
Dice
thanks,
is
Blue Jay.
Dice is poison.
Hey, what do you mean? Thanks, Blue Jay.
You poisoned me to death.
Says what? No.
I mean, Naja, you finished what Naja started.
Let me see. Let's find a good name for this guy. Okay. So this is not his real name because he wasn't born with one. But his name is Merrick.
Merrick.
Yeah, his name is Merrick, and I think Merrick
Fool.
used to be like a bodyguard. I think that Merrick is he's a eunuch, and he's one of those slaves that an important noble would have bought to protect his daughter. Like maybe in a foreign country or when she was like far away. And the fact that he's now like basically a glorified potato peeler means that his charge probably died and somehow he managed to like evade being executed for his failure.
Executed for failure, yeah.
Maybe his master also died in the same event. And so that's what you know about Merrick. He's Merrick. He's a eunuch. He's a big strong guy.
So
and
clears
he's
his
a
throat
huge
behind
failure.
me. Clears his throat behind me, and I spin around, and this guy, I'm assuming he's fairly large.
Yeah, he's a big dude. I think he's bald, and kind of like ruddy skin, and he just wears like plain kind of servants clothes. He's one of those servants that's never allowed to leave the servant part of the castle. Like he doesn't serve food. He lives down here, and works and like does menial tasks because he's unskilled. Right?
Oh, well, would you look who it is? Pleasure to see you again. Something I can help you with?
And he shakes his head and he says, "Why are you here, Joy?"
Like everybody these days, friend, I am hungry. And this is where the food is.
And he nods. He's like, "Me too." Shakes his head. "You'll not find anything here."
Do you happen to know where I might find something?
He nods. "They lock up the food now." And he looks towards a door. He says, "Master of the kitchen has the key."
Well, I'll tell you what, my friend. We can both get something good out of this. I have a plan.
And he looks at you and he says, "You shouldn't steal, Joy."
Desperate times, desperate measures. What'd you think?
And he kind of like puts his hands out, and he says, he gives you a gesture like, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. What do you?
All you have to do is speak to the master of the kitchen. I will acquire the key. We will unlock the door and feast.
Kind of looks at you like you can see he's like the idea of food is good to him, but also like this is dangerous.
Just a distraction. That's all I'm asking. A tiny, insignificant task, really, for one of your presence.
Scratches his head. It's like, I don't know. Let's have you roll persuade.
I was going to say I'll persuade.
Mm-hmm.
Notably, if he is a slave, he might have some things that make him more pliant.
I
Not
think
to persuasion,
if
though.
if you fail to persuade him, you do have a second option of being like, listen here, fuck boy, do what I say, and cowing him into doing what you want. But right now, he
But I also think Joy would never.
Oh, of course, yeah. The thing is, you're not
that would
asking him
be
to break any
pretty
rules. There's no rule against talking to the master of the kitchen.
No,
right?
exactly. There's no rule against it. Okay. So,
So I'm going to give you an advantage die because he's hungry.
cool.
And because he's like, it's not a bad idea, and you're not asking him to do anything.
Can I fork in slavery-wise in terms of like, well, we're not going to get beaten and whipped for if I get caught. It's just going to be a slap on the wrist kind of thing. Like, there's just compared to what we used to suffer,
Yes,
friend.
I mean, he's the thing is like the real nitpicky detail here is that you're not using slave-wise, you're using slavery-wise, and it's not really about slavery. But I think it's fine.
Okay.
And Merrick has a will of 2, I think.
2. Okay. Cool. Well, let's see how it goes.
I'm already like figuring out Merrick's tragic backstory. He could have
Yeah,
been
Merrick's had a hard life.
He has
I
had a
know.
hard life.
Sub 2. Bam!
Okay, all right. So he kind of like squints at you, and he's like, "What do I have to say?"
Just I don't know, ask him about something that you usually ask him about, or talk about one of the other servants who's busy with something and you're going to fill in, or you create a situation where he is paying attention to you so that I can acquire the key.
You can see the gears turning. Like, this kind of subterfuge is not his main jam, but he nods and he says, "And then you'll get me food."
Oh, of course. I'll get what I want. You'll get what you want. It's very easy.
Yeah, you can tell that he didn't want this until you told him to want it.
And I reach out a hand to like pat his arm, like, yes, very easy. Yes.
he flinches away from you.
Oh,
Yeah, when you try to touch him, he like
fair enough.
pulls away.
Fair enough.
How do you have persuade 1?
Because I got
Oh,
persuade.
no, when you unlock it, it's unlocked at what, half your stat?
Oh, what?
I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're much better at
persuading
persuading than you think.
Okay, so I'm 1 better.
It's the
unless
same
it
as
rounds up.
unlocking it during character creation. Half the root stat rounded down. Yeah, you should have 1.
'Cause I remembered asking that before and getting a different answer, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, it unlocks the same as a character creation.
Okay, well, cool. I've got 2 then.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, cool. Okay. So we cut to him talking to the master of the kitchen. So he's just like kind of mumbling through, and more what's happening is that he is he's infuriating or annoying the master of the kitchen, right? Where he's just like, "Merrick, what do you want?" And Merrick's like, "Well, and he's like, "Merrick, like, spit it out, man."
And so my plan is a quick pickpocketing of our dear friend, the master of the kitchen, to get the key and unlock the larder.
Okay, let me give Merrick a character sheet, and then I'm gonna give Merrick an conspicuous role, and it'll be a link. It'll be like a link test for you.
Okie dokie.
Merrick, kitchen servant. Look at that, we're adding all these common folk to the characters.
Yeah, I was just giving you a couple of common
See,
folks to work with.
He's got
Fine.
Will 2, and
A couple of people whom we can see dead and starved later.
yeah, exactly. Conspicuous. He's a big boy, but he's not that good at being conspicuous on purpose. Let's give him a conspicuous of 2. And I think all you want is for him to hold up the master of the kitchen for a little while.
Just like even a second, like,
Right, just for a minute. Okay, well let me take a look at conspicuous. It should be fairly easy because he's the only one around. The ob I think is going to be 1, but it might also be 2. Let me see.
check. Get a check.
Got it. Yeah, attracting attention to oneself in a crowded room is ob 1, so it doesn't go any lower than that. I'm going to say ob 1 with an advantage because it only needs to be for a second. So here we go. Come on, Merrick. What do you got? There you go. He barely does it. So he does not give you any advantage, but he also doesn't like keep looking at you as you sneak up behind him. So yeah, so Merrick is like, I'm supposed to ask about someone in the kitchen they're busy and I'm and so they're having this brief interaction. What do you do?
I try and identify where the key is and then snake said key without the master of the kitchen noticing.
Okay. All right. So I think, let's see. You're doing sleight of hand, right? That's pickpocketing?
I am indeed.
Yeah, I figure you probably wouldn't gamble on something like this if you didn't have a skill for it.
I have 4 in sleight of hand, so
Nice.
it's not.
Your hands
it's not
are very
too bad.
slight. You
Yeah.
got those black fingers.
The inky fingers of joy,
Yeah, sounds like a terrifying romance novel.
doesn't it?
to pick a pocket, it's sleight of hand versus observation. Okay. So I'm gonna give this person an observation. I figure they manage other servants. They're probably pretty good at like observing, like watching out for people stealing stuff or fucking things up. They're not a chef.
Probably.
But, I'll give him 3 dice.
Aren't they perceptive, not observant? Isn't observant for like hidden things?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is like
Yeah.
It's
They're
not just
good
about
at spotting sneak thieves.
they're good.
and-
Exactly. They're like on the lookout for people not doing their job. This is active
Or like
searching.
putting a piece of bread in their mouth when they're not supposed to.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Those persimmons are for the queen, you fool. Spoon. All right.
Oh God, you gotta give them an instinct to always hit people with a ladle when they misbehave. Like,
exactly.
I can imagine this character.
Yeah.
already.
Punish any slight with a smack of the spoon. All right. So let's give this person a skill observation. I'm gonna give him an observation 3.
Okay.
But I don't think they have any forks or anything. So I got my pool. So if you fail, if this person beats you, I don't think that the punishment will fall on you. I think what'll happen is the keys will go missing and this person will take it out on Merrick later. And instead
Cool.
of getting a belly full of food, Merrick is going to get a sound beating from the master of the kitchen and potentially like thrown out. It'll be bad on him.
I'm all about it. Let's do it.
All right, you're terrible. So what are you gonna? You got 4 dice. Do you have anything you want to fork?
I don't know that I have anything I can fork unless I can fork inconspicuous, which when I took it, thought it was stealth, but it's not.
Yes, stealth would be the skill here, not inconspicuous.
Yeah. So I think I'm just stuck with what I got.
Okay, all right.
So let's just
Fine,
be
you got tons of fate and
on our merry way with
All right.
this roll
okay,
here.
I'll roll first. The base ob is 0 because it's a versus test. I got 2 successes.
So base ob 2.
Yes.
Hey, we got 2 as well.
All right, nicely done. Okay, so you sneak your little inky fingers to where the key hangs from the master's belt.
And I give Merrick a little nod, like once I've got it, like, and then head back towards where the larder is.
Well, you haven't got it yet because it's a tie.
Damn it!
Do you want to spend? You can't. Ooh, you don't have any. You don't have any 6s.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. So a tie goes to. I believe the tie goes to the defender in this case, unless you have a call on for sleight of hand.
I
mean, you're still gonna get what you want. You still get the keys.
don't think I do.
Poor Merrick.
I have aura of innocence.
Oh, that's for later if they come asking for
Yeah,
you. Like,
I think
If
that's a
only
call.
Merrick
you
For,
get caught. If only Merrick
I think
had
that's
it.
I think that's a call for falsehood. So
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
that's-
Well, I mean, yeah, you have the keys. You get them. But
Sweet.
later, Merrick will be very badly punished for stealing the keys.
Well, I don't know anything about that, so
Well, I'll leave it up to you if you want to go back and like check in on him, or if I can just like have him get angry at you. But yeah,
I believe I have succeeded.
You
so I
have.
take key.
Okay.
And scurry my way back to the larder.
Okay. All right. So circumstances have changed sufficiently that you can now, if you want to, make that scavenging test again. And because you are in the larder, you'll be able to make it with an additional die.
Well, alrighty then.
So you find your way to the cellar, basically, where the supplies of the castle are kept. You unlock the door and descend down a flight of steps into the cold dampness of the stone and packed earth below the castle. Now it's you have to take like a lantern down from the and you head down into there, and so you're in this just pool of light, and you can see your breath. It's cold because there's no real like. It's meant to be cold to keep things safe. And so there's all sorts of food, right? Salted meat. There's grains. There's big ass wheels of cheese, like huge industrial castle grade, like wagon wheels of cheese. There's enough to keep the people in the castle okay for quite some time. And in fact, I think now you can't read, can you?
No.
Okay. There is a book open near the entrance, which you're smart enough to guess probably records people taking food out or putting food in. Yeah, and that is there. And then there's just all of these like foodstuffs, huge sacks of potatoes. Maybe more food than you've ever seen in one place at a time. Certainly unprepared food.
Holy crap. I'm still looking for the same thing I was looking for before, which is stuff I can make poison with.
Yeah, like food, but not if I do it right.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Okay.
Like some cheese that has moldered too much, and you just scrape the mold.
Scrape the deadly mold from the edge of the cheese.
Yeah, exactly. That's my plan.
Let me just check.
Wait, so after all this, you're not even gonna get Merrick any food?
I am, but the food is easy. Look, food. Take, go. I don't have to make a roll for food.
Okay, all right.
I would assume.
I love it because I was like, I went to look at your character sheet and I was like, okay, what, like, is there any beliefs or any traits that I can like mess with here? But then I realized like, this is just you pursuing your first belief in a totally different way than you were before.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
This is all you're doing is you're just doing your belief. Okay, all right. So yeah, let's have you make that scavenging roll. So it's the same roll as before, but you have an advantage die from being around plenty. Ob 2, so it goes up to Ob 4.
Okay. So I get a +1?
You have an additional, you have a +1. You can spend a persona on it if you want.
No.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get it.
You're pretty close last time.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like,
well, that's a 6. Do you wanna?
Sure. Why the fuck not?
Okay.
I guess. Let's do it and see if I can roll 3 6s in a row. Nope.
Not so much. Okay. All right. So, I mean, the failure of this is that there just isn't enough food to make poison that wouldn't be like really obvious. Like you could make something that would make the king sick, or make the magus like it would be. There's nothing subtle enough for your purposes.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I can't find anything, I can't find anything. But I grab like a sizable chunk of cheese and some bread and like scoop up about an armful of food from various shelves of different things to bring back to my co-conspirator.
Okay.
Who
So I think that when you emerge from the larder, you can hear in the distance, the moaning of like confused and upset Merrick, and you can hear the thwacking sound of the wooden spoon and like shouting like you brute, you fool, where are my keys? And and you can hear this in the.
Oh, I have
distance.
I have a plan. Okay, I stash the food that is in my arm like under a nearby table. Or somewhere that it just can sit there for a moment. And I go over to where this sound is coming from. And make myself known to the master of the kitchen.
Okay.
Holding their keys like this.
Uh-huh.
Conspicuous. Roll that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so what is your intent here? What do you want to do?
My intent here is to change their focus entirely from Merrick to me. Like, to stop beating Merrick and listen to what I'm about to say.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a consequence of failure there. Like, I think you can just be like, "Excuse me," jingle jingle, right, and get his attention.
Yeah, maybe it's not a roll.
I don't think that's a roll, and it's already too late. Like, he's already Merrick. The consequences of your previous roll have happened, right? You can see him, like, there's blood on the floor, and
sure.
probably on the wall, and the spoon is like cracked. And Merrick is cowering, despite being much, much bigger than the master of the kitchen, right? Like, this is a slave being beaten.
Sure. I'm just
and
gonna
then
try
you
and
clear your throat and jingle the keys.
just gonna try and mitigate. You know what I mean? Rather than
and it's a way that Joy can save face with
Yeah.
Merrick, right?
Yeah.
Being like, well, I did still stick up for you. So.
Yeah.
so
the man he turns angrily, right? Like how dare you interrupt me in the middle of my beating this idiot? And he sees you and he sneers, and we see his like arm tense, like, well, I'm gonna beat on you too. Like, before, he just carries the momentum towards you, but then, like, he sees who it is and realizes that it's like, you're not of his world, right? Like, he can beat on Merrick, but like, it would be socially awkward for him to beat on you because you belong to the king.
So I say, has somebody lost their keys? Is that what I'm hearing?
And
I happen to have found some keys.
he scowls and he sees them dangling from your hand, and he goes to like snatch them unless you pull them away.
No, I let him take
Okay,
it.
so he snatches them from you.
Now you really should keep a better hold of things that belong to you. You know, letting things fall to the ground all willy-nilly. Oh, it's a wonder that we let you cook the food, really, isn't it?
And he looks
How
at
many
you.
of those potatoes have hit the ground?
He looks at you and he says, go back to your kennel upstairs, fool. I have no time for you. Not with, and he like points at Merrick, who's just like cowering and like sobbing like a baby, like sobbing into his hands. And he's like, not with idiots like this surrounding me and wasting my time. My job's hard enough without, and he like looks around and like scoffs and like gets angry. And he goes to storm off.
Oh, yes, a big man, certainly. Or, I don't know, we haven't gendered this person. I will continue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, a big man to beat the people under you who have done nothing. You dropped your keys on the floor. It's your own stupidity. You should be knocking yourself in the head with that thing.
Man, you are pushing this guy hard. I mean, I think this is ugly truth, right? Because what you're trying to say here,
Or is it falsehood?
There's maybe two roles, right? Like, there's what Elf is doing is saying, like, you lost your keys, which I think he probably doesn't think Merrick stole his keys while he was talking to him. He just realized he lost his keys and wanted to flip out on Merrick, right? Because you succeeded at the sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Or no, you failed, but yeah, that was the consequence. So he doesn't think that someone took them. So I don't think there's a role for falsehood. I think that's just to say yes, right? Because like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But I think this is ugly truth, right? And the ugly truth here is like, you're a dummy. You're an idiot. You're just doing your job. You're like, you're angry at the wrong person.
You're an idiot full of anger.
Yeah.
You should be beating yourself, not this other person.
Okay.
Like, it's fairly obvious, right?
Sure. Let's get that ugly truth. I mean, the consequence of ugly truth here, if you fail, is he just like whales you one in the head with a spoon. He's got an instinct.
My goal is to make Merrick feel like I'm trying to help them.
Awesome. So even if you fail, like if you succeed, he's gonna storm off, and Merrick will notice. If you fail, you're gonna get walloped by the spoon, and Merrick will not see you as trying to stand up for him, but as just like being a dummy like him. That like you're both pathetic.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. It won't be exactly what you want, and you get walloped with a spoon.
All right. So ugly truth. What's my ob here? It's pretty obvious, like stating the obvious.
Yeah, it's not the
like
worst possible outcome, but it's pretty close. Let's call it ob 2.
All right. Can I fork in falsehood or no?
This is one where you could fork inconspicuous, but not false.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's do that instead.
Because this is the like, look at me, I'm the biggest thing in the room.
Cool. Base of 2. Boom. Skaplow.
There you go. All right.
Routine ugly
So
truth for me.
he
And my ugly truth levels up.
nice. You got 5 ugly truth now.
Yeah.
The truth is an ugly thing. So he lifts the spoon as if he's gonna like he gives you one of these like he lunges at you a little to see if you'll flinch, and then he looks at Merrick and looks at you and he says, "I have neither time for fools nor imbeciles," and like storms past you. And Merrick is just like curled up in a corner, and he's like pushed aside a table because he's too big to fit in the space he was trying to get away from being beaten in. So the table is like slid across the floor a little bit. And he's got blood on his hands because he got hit in the face, so it's like his nose is like bleeding or whatever.
I try to sort of assuage him a little, like comfort him a little bit in like, sorry, my friend, 9 times out of 10 that wouldn't have happened, but rewards gained all the same. Just a little bit of the typical response. Can't say you're not used to it. I know I can't.
He kind of like looks at you and like sniffs blood, like wipes his face. And he's just like a mess, right? He's blood all over his face, and it's like it's not as bad as it looked. It's just that like it's a head wound, right? So there's a lot of blood.
So I walk back over to where I've stashed the food, and like beckon him over to it. I got what you asked for right here. At least get a belly full.
Okay, and you like do you keep any of the food, or do you just kind of like give him the whole bundle?
I keep like an apple, but I give him like the whole bundle. Other than that,
okay. He doesn't like immediately like eat it. He just sort of takes it from you and like cradles it and sort of stands up, and just like nods and like sniffs and wipes his face.
Keep it hidden, or you'll face another lashing.
And he nods again, and then heads off.
And I'm gonna find an alternate route to what I want, but
yeah,
we at least got a slave, a beating, and some food.
Sure, yeah,
Good, great.
Okay, yeah. So the kitchen's not gonna help you if you want poison, but you may have to look elsewhere.
I shall make my intentions clear.
All right, cool.
Without poison.
Okay, so you head off into the castle.
I do.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Well, rather than start another scene here and have to do it quick, let's take a break, and when we get back, we'll figure out what Agatha, Alessandra, and Miro have been up to. Stick around. We will be right back.